On our 11-day Adventures Croatia island hopping cruise, we visited some amazing islands, towns, and cities. Some are known for their natural beauty, and some are known for a variety of other reasons. Every place we visited was picture postcard perfect. The diversity of these locations made for an unforgettable cruise. And now for the top 10 places to visit in Croatia. Number 10. Zlatni Rat Beach. This is the most popular beach in all of Croatia and one of the most popular beaches in Europe. It's known as the Golden Horn or Golden Cape Beach. It's a spit of land located on the island of Mljet in the region of Dalmatia with beautiful mountains in the background. The shape of the beach changes with the tides, current, and winds. The beach features lots of water sports and there's places to eat and drink. Of course, you can also do some sunbathing and people watching. One word of caution. What looks like a sandy beach is really a pebbly beach, so bring some water shoes before you walk on this beautiful beach in the Adriatic Sea. Number 9. The Island of Mljet. Mljet is the southernmost and easternmost of the larger Adriatic islands in the Dalmatia region of Croatia. It's noteworthy for two reasons. First, its natural beauty with its beautiful emerald green water within the national park, which is located on the western part of the island. The park was established in 1960 and 84% of its land is forest. That's why Mljet is known as the greenest island in Croatia, and the best way to see it is to take a boat ride on the lake. Second, the island has some interesting history. There has been a Benedictine monastery here for centuries, as well as the Church of St. Mary. They are well worth a visit. Number 8. Ston. Ston is a small municipality that has been around since ancient Roman times. There are three major reasons to visit Ston. First, the oyster fields in Mali Stone Bay. They are reputed to produce some of the best oysters in the world due to the natural nutrient content that occurs in the bay. It takes 3 years for an oyster to go from sea to table. The second major reason to visit is to see the salt fields. The stone salt pans are the oldest and largest preserved in Europe. The method of producing salt hasn't changed much since the Middle Ages. To protect the salt fields, a major network of stone walls was built, which brings us to the third major reason to visit Ston, and my personal favorite, to see the walled city and climb up the stairs to the top, or close to the top. From there you get some incredible views of the wall, the salt fields, and the water. Number 7. The Blue Cave. The fluorescent blue cave is located on the island of Biševo. You take a 10-minute boat ride along the limestone rock formations, and then most importantly, don't forget to duck as you enter the cave. The cave has been long known to fishermen, but has only been open to the non-diving public since 1884. No, the blue color doesn't come from LED lights. It is created from the sand at the bottom of the cave, which acts as a mirror and reflects the sunlight. The best time to enter the cave is between 11 a.m. and 12 noon, when the sun is at the best angle to enter the cave and illuminate the water. Number 6. The town of Hvar on the island of Hvar. Hvar was another picture postcard perfect stop on our Adventures Croatia island hopping cruise. Hvar features a beautiful harbor with lots of luxury yachts. You can get some great harbor views by walking around or while getting a drink at a hotel bar. There's also a 16th century fortress at the top of the hill that was built when the Venetians ruled Hvar, and I'll never forget the incredible views from the fortress. There's a Benedictine convent known for producing lace that has been here since 1664. In one of the biggest squares in Hvar, St. Stephen's Square, we find centuries-old St. Stephen's Cathedral. The Franciscan monastery, which stands out with its elegant bell tower, was built in the 15th and 16th centuries. The historic Hvar Theater was built in 1612 in the old arsenal, which was used for boat building repairs. It's the oldest public theater in Europe. Hvar is also known for producing lavender and olive oil, and if you get a chance, talk to the locals who make them. After that, relax at a restaurant and have some great seafood for dinner as the sun goes down on another great day in Hvar. Number 5. Plitvice Lakes National Park. This is Croatia's most popular, over 1 million visitors a year, oldest since 1949, and largest national park with over 70,000 acres or 300,000 square kilometers. 81% is forest vegetation, 15% are grasslands, and less than 1% is water, but that 1% sure makes a lasting impression. There are 16 cascading or terraced lakes or pools, 4 lower lakes, and 12 upper lakes. The 16 lakes are separated into an upper and lower cluster formed by runoff from the mountains. They are known for their beautiful colors, which change constantly depending on the quantity of minerals or organisms in the water and the angle of sunlight. Over thousands of years, the waters flowing over the limestone have deposited travertine barriers, creating natural dams, which in turn have created a series of beautiful lakes, caves, and waterfalls. If you want to see some majestic natural beauty in Croatia, then look no further than Plitvice Lakes National Park. Number 4. Split. Split, located on the Croatian coast, is the second largest city in Croatia with almost 200,000 residents, and it's a very popular spot for tourists. As soon as we walk out of our hotel, we go back in time to the 15th century, as People's Square was once the city center of Split. Here we see the Middle Ages Venetian influence on palaces and City Hall, and the ancient Roman influence in the famous clock tower. Speaking of ancient Roman influence, Split is perhaps best known for being the site of Roman Emperor Diocletian's palace, which was built in 305 AD and is only a short walk away. This is Peristyle, or Emperor's Square. This balcony is where Emperor Diocletian would speak to his subjects and where his subjects would bow down to him. From the square, you can enter St. Domnius Cathedral, which is where part of Diocletian's mausoleum was originally built. On the outside, you can see the 187-foot-high Romanesque Gothic bell tower, which was built centuries later. At night, there's also plenty to see and do. You can walk along the harbor, eat dinner at a cafe in People's Square, or just hang out in Emperor's Square. Number 3. The island of Korčula. Korčula has a great vibe going for it, and in fact, the Croatian crew on our cruise ship said that Korčula was their favorite place to visit among all the places we visited on this island hopping cruise. Like so many other places we visited in Croatia, Korčula features a beautiful harbor and centuries-old Italian-influenced architecture. However, there were two things that really stood out for me, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and both had to do with climbing upstairs. First, climbing up to the top of the 500-year-old St. Mark's Church bell tower on what I consider to be the narrowest stairs known to man was quite an experience. Every step I climbed was one step closer to the top, and once you reach the top, like so many other places in Croatia, you get amazing and unforgettable views of the city and the Adriatic Sea. From here you can see the rooftop bar Massimo, which is the second thing that really stood out for me. Why? Because I've never had the unique experience of climbing a ladder, a steep ladder, to enter a bar. In fact, they have to hoist the drinks up and down on a pulley on the outside of the building because it would be almost impossible to bring drinks up and down the ladder. As you can see, it was a lively crowd up here, and again, some great views. Korčula also has a great vibe at night, and I was fortunate to see a beautiful Korčula sunset. Exploring Old Town Korčula after the sun goes down is rewarding, as you can walk around the well-lit city gates, churches, and alleyways. You can also eat at one of the many outdoor cafes and restaurants. I had a nice dinner and enjoyed the people watching as I look back on my special day in Korčula. Number 2. Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. Zagreb was the first place I visited in Croatia, and it certainly created a lasting impression. Zagreb has 1 million inhabitants, but the city doesn't feel crowded at all. Historic Banja Lucic Square is the heartbeat of Zagreb and is the main meeting place for locals. And what says Europe better than trams? Speaking of transportation, the Zagreb funicular is the shortest public transport funicular in the world. It's a great way to get from lower town to upper town and vice versa. I personally loved the late 19th century architecture of the National Croatian Theater and the Art Pavilion. Ridge Tunnel was originally built during World War II to serve as a bomb shelter and a promenade. It's been a tourist attraction since 2016. I've never seen so many unique offbeat museums than I did in Zagreb. I visited the Museum of Broken Relationships, the Museum of Illusions, the Museum of Hangovers, and the Museum of Chocolate. And there's even more unique museums in the city. Zagreb Cathedral is one of the tallest buildings in Croatia. The 341-foot tall spires are landmarks as they are visible for most parts of the city. St. Mark's Church, which was reconstructed in the late 14th century, is known for its late 19th century colorful tiles, which represent the coat of arms of Zagreb on the right and the Triune Kingdom of Croatia, Slavonia, and Dalmatia on the left. Lotus Chuck Tower provides perhaps the most unique and loudest experience in Zagreb. It's a 13th century fortification tower, and a cannon has been shot from the top of the tower every day at 12 noon since 1877, as it gives church bell ringers the sign that it's exactly 12 noon. Put on your earplugs. My heart's beating.
Holy Toledo!
And the #1 place to visit in Croatia is the walled city of Old Town Dubrovnik. I think I chose Old Town Dubrovnik as #1 because I love history and architecture, and Old Town Dubrovnik features outstanding highlights of both. Plus, there are so many interesting things to see and do here in a very compact area. There's definitely an Italian influence in Old Town Dubrovnik, as the Venetians controlled Dubrovnik from 1205 to 1358 AD, but there are architectural influences from other parts of Italy as well. One of my favorite examples of Italian architecture is the mid-15th century Big Onofrio fountain, which was built by architect Onofrio di Giordano della Cava from Naples. The fountain features 16 original stone-carved masks which distribute water. Onofrio also designed Little Onofrio fountain, and the sculptures were made by Pietro di Martino of Milan. These Jesuit Baroque stairs were built in 1738 by a Roman architect, which is why there is a resemblance to the Spanish steps in Rome. They were featured in the infamous Walk of Shame scene in Game of Thrones. There were several churches in Old Town Dubrovnik which I enjoyed visiting, so here are some highlights. The Church of St. Ignatius, which opened in 1729, was designed by Italian Jesuit architect and painter Andrea Pozzo. The paintings were done by Italian Baroque painter Gaetano Garcia, who is originally from Spain. Dubrovnik Cathedral, also known as the Roman Catholic Cathedral of the Assumption of the Virgin, was built from 1671 to 1713 after the Great Earthquake of 1667. It was built by several Italian architects and finished by a Dubrovnik architect. In Luza Square, the Church of St. Blaise, also known as the Church of St. Vlaho, is a Roman Catholic church that is dedicated to the patron saint of Dubrovnik, St. Blaise. The church was built in Baroque style and completed in 1715, and was designed by Venetian architect and sculptor Marino Gropelli. Luza Square also features the 16th century Spanza Palace, the 102-foot high bell tower, and the 15th century Orlando's Column. Very close by is Rector's Palace, which is now a museum. It was originally built in the 13th century and was rebuilt by two Florentine architects. It originally served as the seat of the rector or ruler of the Republic of Ragusa between the 14th and 19th centuries. The Old Synagogue is the world's oldest Sephardic synagogue still in use today, and it features a small museum. Old Town Dubrovnik also has two monasteries. First, there's the Franciscan Church, Monastery, and Pharmacy. And there's also a Dominican monastery. Now it's time to see some natural beauty. Just a short walk outside Old Town is the stunning Banja Beach. Back in Old Town, there's the scenic Old Port Dubrovnik. From here, you can take boat rides around the walled city, around or to Lokrum Island, and along the Adriatic coastline. There are three distinct and very enjoyable ways of exploring Old Town Dubrovnik. First, you can walk on the main promenade, the Stradun, from Pila Gate to Plaucha Gate, which is only a 15-minute walk. Second, you can go up the stairs near Big Onofrio Fountain and walk the upper walls of Old Town, getting some amazing views of the city and the Adriatic Sea. Third, you can take the cable car ride up to the top of Mount Surge for some even more amazing views. It's fun to explore Old Town Dubrovnik at night as you walk through Luza Square and explore the alleyways that connect the city. And don't forget to enjoy one more great Italian influence, gelato. My top 10 places to visit in Croatia are based on what I saw on this particular Adventures Croatia cruise. But if you've been to other places in Croatia that should be in the top 10, please leave a comment in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you will get to visit beautiful Croatia one day.